Hi, welcome to the Data Tech. So today we are going to discuss about an end-to-end Zomato data analytics. Okay, so what I'm going to do is not just by showing you the SQL or data analytics use cases or data engineering use cases. Let me just start with application development first. So just give me a second. Okay. Okay, so it is going to be Zomato use case. So what I did is I just built a web application and I'm going to show you how to do this as well. And then from the web application, I use REST. Okay, so I use REST API to write the data, to save the data into my database. And then I'll retrieve that and then I'm going to do some ETL, the data engineering part. Okay, so what are all the tech stack that I've been used here? So I just used Python with Flask just to build the web application and also to use the REST API because I'm going to send my data through HTTP. Okay, and in HTTP we have get, put, post. So these are all some of the HTTP methods. And if you want to know what is REST and how to start with REST, right, I have already made a video about this and I have given the video link in the description box of this video where you can watch that first and then you can get into this. And then I use MySQL as a database. So I'm just not going to complicate this by giving some advanced tech stack like big data Hadoop or BigQuery in GCP or Redshift in AWS. Right, so I just specifically created this for students and freshers or the final year college people, right? So which you have to understand how this data analytics, data engineering part is happening in the real time and in a very what to say, in a layman terminologies, in a very simple data pipeline architecture. Okay, fine. So now let's get into the code. So first let me cover the front end part, but the agenda is not the front end part and I am not a front end person like who, I'm not a full stack developer or I'm not a JavaScript or React JS guy. Okay, so but then I've just learned it and I've written the code just to develop this complete end-to-end data engineering project. Okay, fine. So let me just show you the UI first. Okay, so this is my Zomato-like app which I created. So I have created two types of web applications. Okay, I just did it for my learning, but then I ended up with two types of web applications. So I'm gonna share you both the code bases. Fine. So if you see here, this has been completely done with HTML and then JavaScript and Ajax I have used. But it was quite complex. It took a lot of time for me to do this because it has no limitation when I compare to building the same with normal HTML. But I did that as well. So I have two UI. One is I created the same UI with HTML as well, but it has lots and lots of limitations. And based on that, some of my backend code had some small changes. And now let me start with one first. So let me show you how this works. Okay, and how the backend code for this particular UI works, and then let me show you the HTML as well, and then we can quickly move on to data engineering, data analytics. Fine. So now I just click biryani, and then I'll just give some address here. For example, let me just put Pune. Okay, and then I'll just do place order. Okay, order placed successfully. Okay, now I'll just go back to my web UI, sorry, my MySQL, and you can able to see I have one entry called Pune. User ID is 1 because I'm the one who ordered for all. Like the last 4 order is from the same user because it's from my mobile application, right? Fine. So let's deep dive into the data model, create table, and all those stuff later. Now this is what. So now what happened in the background? So this front end is all about JavaScript, Ajax. I'm not going to explain you that, but I'll be sharing you the code. You can make use of it. But the backend code, the API, the REST API. So that is what I'm going to give you a walkthrough. Okay, so this is the code app index.py and the respective HTML file name is called index.html. And you can see here, so you have to create all your all your HTML files within a directory called templates. It has to be templates. Okay, and your py code outside the folder templates. Okay, I'm using PyCharm. Fine. So you need to have Flask first. So install Flask with the help of pip install, or if you are using PyCharm, you can add interpreter. Click a new interpreter and search for Flask and install it. And then MySQL installation, I'm giving the video link, but still if you are like aware of it, you can do it on your own in Windows and Linux, or you can Google for some other videos and you can get it. Fine. So now I'm just first creating the connection. So my host name of my MySQL, while installing MySQL, it asks you everything. So the IP address is going to be localhost by default, and root and username password is going to be universal for MySQL. It's root. I always used to give that way. Database is Zomato. and then I create a route. So this is something how the REST API works. So app.route slash, and that means www.zomato.com slash. When they type this, it has to come to a home page, right? So that routing information I'm giving. So when they come with a slash, that means www.zomato.com, they have to render this page called index.html. So in my case, I don't have any domains, right? So this is my domain. You can see here 127.0.0.1 colon 50,000 is my, sorry, 5,000, that is my domain, because it's running on my local host. The application is running on my local host. See, this is my web address. It's equal to www.zomato.com. Fine. So now I just create one more post method. Post method helps us to get the details from the web UI, and it inserts the data to the backend with the help of HTTP. But you have to give the post. Post method means it is to insert the data. So route. So I just copy the slash place underscore order to my HTML file. You can able to, if I search it, you will see something like this, right? So that means you are getting something. I'm just asking some of my script to work this way when I give place order, when I click the place order button, right? So that means it comes to this UI, comes to this script, and then this script invoke my app index.py place.order. So that means when I click place, the place order button, what logic should run in background is what I have written in this route. Okay, it is routing. Okay. So I'm just getting the JSON request.getJSON. So request.getJSON means when you click place order in HTTP, the details goes as a JSON format. So I'm just getting that information, and then I'm just getting whatever the information needed from that particular request, so that I can insert it in my orders table. I need cart information. Cart is actually array of element. It can have more than one element. You could have added biryani, paneer, more than one in the cart, right? And then order date, order address. So address also it is there. So I didn't print the JSON. Actually, if you print that JSON, right, you could see the JSON with the key as cart and the list of items as a value, and the address as a key, and the actual address which I entered Pune, right? It will be in the value. So I'm getting these two, and then like I'm just creating a condition. That's it. And then I'm just iterating that cart, and I'm getting item name and quantity out of it, because I want this information also to be get stored in the database. Okay. Now let me just show you my table first. Order. This is an order table where you can see order ID, user ID, item ID, quantity, delivery address, and order date. So order date is something like I'm passing current timestamp. That means you are not going to give any detail for this column. Whenever you place the order, that time whatever the current timestamp was there of your system, it takes that actually. And then order ID is auto increment. That means whenever as a user, I am the user Gautam, that is my app and my login. Whenever I order something, it is going to be incrementally like 1. Then if I order another item, it is going to be second order 2, 3, 4, right? So that's why I'm just giving auto increment. So if you give auto increment, you cannot insert any value manually to it, and only one column should be in a table given as auto increment. You cannot add auto increment for any other column, right? And then user ID, item ID. If you see here, I am giving biryani. I am choosing biryani in the UI, but then in the background, I don't have any name, right? It's all like ID, right? So that's why I'm having another table in which I'm maintaining items where I have item ID and the name of the item. Okay, so if you want the name of the item, you join this item ID with the order table to get the order information as well as the item name. Okay, so this all data model, guys. So how the data model works, right? See, people will not create one table to store all the information. So you take Amazon, you do all the transaction. You think all adding the data element to a product to a cart and doing the payment, and then like after payment, if you have any issues, so all this information gets stored in one table is what you think? No. Even you take Zomato, when you search something, well, you create a sign up, you create your account, and then means your customer information is created, will be get stored in a different table. And once you do some kind of a transaction, that gets stored in the payment information, and your order in order information. And Zomato gives you some offer, right? And that goes to an offer table. So we have different tables. So you can ask me why do we need a different table? We can store everything to one table, right? But that is not a best data model to do. So solution architects will decide how the data model should be, right? I'm not going to cover what is data model. A data model should be always clean and good. The first step is to have multiple tables and create relationship between the table is what RDBMS is all about, right? So imagine like in the background, right? one team will not work on the complete stuff what you do in Zomato. There will be a team who do AI, ML, data engineering, business analyst, front end, whatever. There will be a customer team. There will be a product team. There will be an order team. There will be an offer team. There will be a team which handles all your disputes when you raise some complaints, right, or fraud transaction, right? So disputes. So now imagine I am the person who manages all your payment information, and all of a sudden the customer is asking me, give me the payment done by this particular customer with the name of the customer. So that means now I have to join the customer table to get the customer information, and then I will be giving the final report by joining the payment table and the customer table. This is how it works. Only when the report comes in this way, then I can do a join, and then I can do all of it. If there is no such requirement is coming, there is no use of storing the customer information again in my payment table and payment information again in the customer table, right? It's a waste of space and waste of time and everything. Whenever it is required, when the use case is coming in that way, you can do a join of it, right? So that's why we created this many tables. And from the UI I created only one flow, guys. Okay, so in the UI I create only place orders. So order table will be get populated with the UI what I have built, but I have so many other tables here, which is something I did a manual insert. I didn't build any UI for it, okay, because I just want to show you an end-to-end. That's why I created one flow in the UI. Okay, rest all, like, it's not like from the UI, but in the background I populated it. Okay, fine. So back to the code. Now I'm just want to get the item ID also, but item ID is in the items table. So that's why I'm just using my item name. I'm passing my item name here, and then I'm getting my item ID. Now whatever the data required, we have got all the data, and still we have few more. If you see here, item ID of result of 0, because I'm getting the first element of the item, and user ID I'm hard coding is 1. As I told you, I'm not doing dynamic username, password, validation and all. Here whenever a user does an order from their phone, it is going to be the same user, so that's why I hard coded it. Okay, but if you want to dynamically pass, you can change this code. Now see, whatever the details of data required for me to insert into my order table, I retrieved everything. I am just executing it. Okay, there is one more line here. Okay, so I'm creating a connection for my MySQL database, and I'm creating a cursor because I have to execute the statements, SQL statements. For that I need cursor. Okay, now I just execute this SQL with the values. So percentage s will be get substituted with all the value whichever that comes to this variable. Okay, and then that's all, guys. It's all exception handling, and I'm closing all the connections, right? And then just I did a get method. So order www.zomato.com/orders. When someone execute this, they can able to see their list of orders. But then I didn't write this code that well. Okay, let me show you. So if you just put slash orders, right? So you will be getting all the orders, not just one. But actually you are supposed to get only your orders, but you are getting for all, right? So I haven't done this code in that way, but I just wanted to show you. So I just showed you. Just imagine, as a data engineer, I use this so that I can able to see all of this, right? So we can think in that way. Okay, but this is not for the user, because you are seeing other person orders as well, right? Fine. So let me just come back to the code. As I told you in the beginning of the video, I have written two types of UI. One is with Ajax and JavaScript, and one is with HTML, right? So these two, app index and index.html, is the combination of Ajax and JavaScript. I'm sharing this code as well. And then this app underscore home and home.html is simple HTML. I haven't used any kind of Ajax or JavaScript. Let me show you the output of this as well. So when I run this, you will see the difference in the UI. See, now this is simple, right? Again, if I do this, right, like if I even do Goa, I'll just put Goa here. It will be get stored, right? So it will be get stored, but the thing is, it's HTML. The UI seems to be very very basic, right? I'm sharing you both the code. Anyway, I've did both the code. So let me see first. The Goa data got inserted. Okay, it got inserted. Fine. So I am sharing you both the code and also all the creates, inserts, and data analytics. Everything I'm sharing. So it will be the code link is there in the description box. You can have it. Now let's jump into the data engineering part. Okay. So what are all the reports has been requested from the customer? So these are all the reports: total revenue from all order, revenue by item, revenue by payment method, total revenue by date, items ordered by the category, revenue by customer. So this is how the customer will ask you. Okay, so now the first thing from your team, your business analyst will connect with the customer, and the customer will say everything to business analyst. Now the business analyst will create a technical mapping document. In the mapping document, the business analyst will say what is actually the requirement from the customer, and for this particular requirement where all the tables present, because business analyst knows that very well, and business analyst is the one who knows the business of it. See, I am a data engineer, I know Hadoop, big data, Spark, GCP, AWS, I'm technically strong, but then again when it comes to business analyst will help us, because they know the business. If you work for Zomato is a business. If you work for Amazon, retail is a business. If you work for companies like AstraZeneca, then health, life science is actually the business. And if you work for any other telecom industry, then telecom is a business. Bank is a business. So you need to know the business, how the things works, and the columns, tables, mappings, and all. So business analyst will know all of this. So business analyst will give this information to us. So the business analyst will give the table information and what the logic has to be built for this particular column. So column based logic preparation also the business analyst will give you, and then it is up to you whether you use SQL or Python or Java or any technology, whether you use Spark, PySpark, or BigQuery, SQL. So it's up to you. You have to decide that. Okay, up to, when I say up to you, up to the technical team, your manager or the lead, your solution architect from the data engineering technical team will take care of it. Fine. So now let's jump into the data analytics part. So I have my notebooks here. So okay, the first thing, total revenue from all orders. So what I do, just I'm use my database, select sum of price. So I'm using order items table that has price and quantity both. So that means I can do it. So 1,000 rupees is what my revenue. Next, revenue by item. Okay. So butter chicken how much, biryani how much, paneer how much. So it has to come in that way. So for that, what I'm doing here is I'm just selecting item under order item both, because order item table doesn't have the name of the item, but item has it, and these two table can be joined with item ID. So and then I'll do sum. So the same thing, price and quantity, but group by comes with item name. So here also you did price and quantity multiplication, but then you didn't do a group. It's a full amount, right? So again, if you do a summation of all this, it is going to be 1,000 again, but you just get the item name. And then payment method, okay, debit card, credit card, GPay, Paytm, whatever it is. So I have to give them based on how much happened in the credit card and how much happened in the debit card. So for this I use payment and order both. So here you can get everything from the payment table itself, but still I'm joining with orders just to make sure the order ID in the order table and the payment table matches. Okay, fine. So next, total revenue by date. So generally the paid at date will be like this. So just to get only the date from it, not the time, I'm using date of the paid at, so that you will be getting the date like this, and sum of amount with the group by of P date. That means whatever the transaction that happened in January 11th, so you group everything with the 11th and do a summation. And then Jan 12, again you group all Jan 12 data and then you do the summation only for the Jan 12 groups. Okay, so that's why I'm just using group by here. And the total order and revenue by user. Okay, so total order revenue by user. So that means each user how much they made the revenue for Zomato. So for that I'm using order table, order item, and user, because I just want to get all these informations, right? This is all available in the user table. Okay, and then total orders and total revenue. So this also I'm getting. So and then to make sure the orders ID in the order table and our order item is matching, I'm using order table also. Okay, fine. So then item ordered by category. So category means vegetarian and non-vegetarian is a category. So my item comes under what? So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so non-vegetarian butter chicken total quantity is 3. So here I'm joining with order item and category. So category has only the details of vegetarian, non-vegetarian. So I can show you that DDL also. So if you see here, right, payment, okay, category, here it is. Okay, so I have this. Okay, fine. So then orders by payment status. Okay, some of the payments status will be paid and some will be failed, some will be pending. So you have to get all these information. So again, order and payments you have to join. And then like because across all these tables at least one ID should be matched, or else there should be some bridge table which helps you to join the other table, so that people will use 3 joins to get that done. Okay, So here users with most orders. Okay, John has ordered 3 times as the most ordered person. So for this you have to connect user and order table definitely, and then you have to get the total order in ascending order. So I'm just giving total order in DESC. Sorry, descending order, not ascending order. So DESC by default it is ascending order. So if you want this to be in descending, you have to give DESC. Okay, fine. And then if you see revenue by category, so we didn't take revenue by category. So this is again like quantity only we took. So now it's about category. So that means vegetarian 900 rupees. Sorry, non-vegetarian total revenue was 900 and vegetarian was just 100. Fine. Next, customer details with orders. Okay, so order information and customer details. So that means I have to connect order item and customer. So one thing I just wanted to tell you, I created 2 tables, user and customer. It's almost the same table only. You can either use customer table or you can use user table. It's up to you. Okay, that's a redundant that I've created, sorry for that, but you can use any table. Okay, and then revenue by customer. Okay, so Jen how much made, and then Alice how much made. So if I run it, because we did few more inserts, right? Yeah, now 100, 600, 300, 100, so totally it is going to be 1000, right? So this is how the complete data analytics system, data engineering system will works, but I did it in plain SQL. It could be Spark, PySpark, BigQuery, Redshift, it could be anything. Okay, and one last thing which I didn't cover here is automation. So scheduler. Okay, so we use the schedulers like Airflow, Autosys, Control M. So I already made a video about Airflow. A practical video is also available. You can find the link in the description box of this video. So imagine my customer is asking that this report has to be get generated every day at the 9 p.m. night. That means 8:30 I have to trigger the job. Imagine if I want to trigger this job. See, it's not, see, I'm here just showing you the select, but generally what happened, right? So this select will give you an output, that is this output will be get stored in a incremental order in a table. So that will be a new table. The output of this will be not being just shown in the select. It will be always stored in a output table, and that will be in the name of something. Okay, for example, revenue by customer. So I can give this itself a table name, revenue underscore by underscore customer, or customer underscore revenue. I can create one table, and daily basis the data will be incrementally loaded. Okay, so daily 9 p.m. this select will be get executed, and that output will be get stored in a table. So that insert also you have to add, or you can do create table as. There is a command called ctask, create table as, and then the select part. So the select part you can run. So in the top of this you can write create table as the table name. Okay, give some table name as, and then you put this complete select into a bracket. Okay, so this you can do, or you can do insert into with the select also. Okay, and not just the complete table. So you have to give some date range. So every time you run it, then the complete table data will be get incrementally loaded. So that should not be the case. So the customer is asking for the daily report. So the date range should be from the starting day and the ending day. That's it. So you have to give where date equal to this and this. So or this report they are asking for monthly, right? Then it has to be like month equal to this much. So you have to give a condition. Time range condition is always required. Okay, fine. Thank you so much, guys. So as I told you, like this may take a longer time. So if you really interested in such videos, right, in the comment just mention yes, so that I'll be making so many other videos like Uber data engineering, data analytics. We have like a Swiggy, we have like Redbus, we have like Paytm. So I can make all of these videos and how the things works in the background in the different business, Amazon, Flipkart. You just put S, I'll make all this product data engineering videos. And thank you so much, guys. My Instagram page is the Data Tech. Even there I'm making daily 1-minute video series of SQL, Python, PySpark and Linux. So please do follow me in my Instagram as well. So thank you so much, guys. Please do subscribe my channel.